Yeah, so I guess it kind of started in like college. Just how everybody else starts. Like you get an ounce of weed, and if you sell a little bit to your buddies, like you get an eighth for free. You smoke an eighth for free, essentially. So like, it just kind of started like that, and pretty soon, like, it became like I realized, hey, like if I do this, I don't have to like work in a restaurant or like be a busboy or a bartender or whatever, and like work all the time, and I can have time to work on music. So, um, yeah, it just started and kind of snowballed.
You were making 1,500 a week at one point, right?
Yeah, which like looking back, like I kind of laugh at that because like it's really nothing. But like
Yeah, right.
at the time for me, like as like I was kind of referencing like when I was like a 21, 22-year-old college kid. Like at
That's a
the
lot.
time, like for me, like that was a lot of money. Especially when like my other alternative was like working in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like so
Making $300 a week instead. Yeah.
yeah.
Was
yeah.
there like a constant fear as you're selling that? I mean, you're making 1,500 profit a week on weed. That means you're moving in like semi
You're
bulk.
selling a lot, dude. You're selling a lot.
Semi bulk, is there a fear there? Like where you're always on the lookout, who can you trust? Like we've never actually gotten a perspective of someone who's dealt on that perspective.
Not really, but it did kind of get to a point that was a little bit ridiculous. I had one guy I had sold to for a couple of years, and I met him in the normal place that I met him, and he hopped into my car, and he pulled out a gun, and said, hey, I need that. Essentially,
Yeah.
and, there was never like any danger of like really me being shot or
You just give it
injured or
to him,
anything.
right?
Yeah, but like at that point, that's when I realized, hey, maybe this isn't the smartest thing to be doing with my life.
And you just cut it off like that. You're able to just cut it off like that. Nobody.
Yeah, that was it. That was it for me.
Nobody like looks for you and goes, "Yo, like, are you not doing this anymore?" Because we most people only know from the movies. Like you get that deep into it. Now you're quitting. Nice cups, by the way. Those are from fucking Target, and they're like $1, and they're so nice, dude. I fucking love them.
Yeah, my fiance, but
We have all of those, bro. We have all the fucking colors in the cabinet. Anyways, so like you get to that point. We've seen it in movies. And like what all most people know is if you're quitting at that high of a fucking level, like someone's gonna come looking after you. I feel like
it's not that serious.
It's not,
it was never.
right?
It was never. I mean, like even the gun thing wasn't like I was never really in danger.
It was just like, here, take it, you can go.
Yeah, essentially. Like I'm not gonna risk my life over like what amounts to like $5,000. Like
You don't really seem like a super confrontational person to have that be an issue. You know what I'm saying?
I am not.
Like I feel like that becomes an issue when you pull out a gun and you're like, no, I need that. You know what I'm saying? Like then that's an issue.
It's
You
like,
both
what,
have a
over
gun
nothing? I die here
exactly.
for $5,000.
I funded a bunch of the videos for that project. What I did was I had a guy who would front me this was right before I got kind of robbed or the weed stolen. But I had a guy who would front me. He would come to my apartment and drop off a significant amount of pounds, like 20 to 30 pounds.
Jesus.
And I would set I only dealt with people who sold in bulk. Like I wouldn't sell to people who were looking to only sold to other dealers. And so I would sell them at cost essentially. So I sold them for the same price I got them for at bulk. So they'd go in one day. And then since he fronted me, I had a bunch of money. I would drive to Colorado because I knew guys who had a grow house, and I would take all that money, buy a bunch in Colorado, drive back to St. Louis where I lived at the time, and then flip those for like 500 to 1,000 profit per pound.
That's smart. That's smart.
This guy's a fucking money machine.
Bro, that's so crazy because it sounds like you were doing that at a time where like weed was definitely not like all right to be like selling shit. So it's crazy. Wait, what?
The guys in Colorado, I remember one of the times I drove out there, that day they were like rushing me out. They were like hurrying up because that day was like the vote to like whether they were going to make it legal in Colorado,
or not, yeah.
And they were all going to vote against it because it would cut into their profits.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, yeah, for sure.